The drum that went silent in Enri. The whole village square was already dressed for joy. Anklets were jingling, rappers were swaying, drummers were warming their hands like athletes. Everyone was waiting for one thing, the first boom of the master drum that opens the celebration. But when the drummer lifted his hands to begin, the drum answered with nothing but a weak, sad sound. Not boom, not bam, just puff. And that's how two kids in Enri became the quickest little rhythm detectives the village had ever seen. Welcome to Oma's Story Nook Jr., where little whispers become big wonders and every tale is full of wonder. It's me, Oma, your storyteller with my fluffy afro and my big glasses, ready to take you on a bright, lively adventure you can almost hear with your ears. Today's story is set in Enri, and it's called The Drum That Went Silent in Enri. Enri was buzzing like a happy beehive. The village square was full of movement. People carrying stools, women fanning smoky pots, kids weaving in and out like playful breezes. Near the front, a group of drummers sat in a neat line, their drums standing proudly like they knew they were important. And right in the middle of everything stood the biggest drum of them all. It wasn't just a drum. It was the opening drum, the one that tells the whole square, "We have started." Two children stood close by, eyes shining like they were watching a movie. Mara, 8 years old, quick feet, quicker mouth, kept bouncing on her toes. Ikenna, 9 years old, calm face, sharp eyes, stood with his hands behind his back like a small security guard. Amara whispered excitedly, "Ikenna! When he hits it, my chest will shake." Ikenna nodded. "That's how you know it's serious." Amara grinned. "I want the drum to greet me personally." Ikenna replied, deadpan. "The drum doesn't know you." Amara gasped. "How can you say that? We are friends." Before Ikenna could answer, the master drummer, Dedemazi Udo, stepped forward. His wrapper was tied neatly, and his face carried that calm confidence of someone who could command silence with just one look. The square began to settle. Children paused. Adults turned. Even the air felt like it leaned closer. Dedemazi Udo raised his hands. Amara held her breath. Ikenna leaned forward slightly. Then, pffft, a weak sound came out. Dedemazi. Udo tried again. The big drum sounded tired, like it had eaten too much and didn't want to stand up. A small murmur moved through the crowd. Amara's eyes widened. "Did the drum catch cold?" Ikenna whispered. "Drums don't catch cold." Dedemazi Udo frowned and pressed the drum skin gently. He tapped again, still weak. He checked the rope tension. He checked the drum's side. Then his eyes narrowed like he had discovered something. He looked up and said, calm but firm, "The tightening peg is missing." The drummers froze. One said, "The small wooden peg." Another said, "The one that helps the rope hold tight." Dedemazi Udo nodded. "Without it, this drum cannot speak properly." The square made a sound all at once. Surprise, confusion, worry, because everyone knew if the opening drum didn't boom, the celebration would feel like a story that forgot its first sentence. Amara stepped forward.
We can find it! Amara, if we don't find it, the whole square will just be standing like cooked rice without stew.
That is a serious comparison.
Dedemazi Udo looked down at them. His eyes weren't angry. They were thoughtful. "You too," he said. "Do you know what you're volunteering for?"
Do you know what you're volunteering
Amara
for?
nodded quickly.
Yes, we will find it. We will look carefully.
The peg is small. It could have fallen, or it could have been carried.
Amara whispered. "Carried by who?" Ikenna's eyes moved from feet to sandals to wrappers to baskets. Then he whispered back, "Not who. What?" Right then, a goat strolled past the edge of the square like it owned the village. Not a calm goat. A goat with mischief in its eyes. The goat stopped, chewed something slowly, and looked straight at Amara as if to say, "Yes? Can I help you?" Amara narrowed her eyes. That goat looked suspicious. Ikenna nodded. "Very suspicious." Dede Mazi Udo lifted a finger. "Go, but remember this. When you're searching, don't let panic lead you. Let your eyes lead you." Ikenna repeated it as a rule. "Let your eyes lead you." Amara repeated it too, then added her own line. "And let our legs run." And just like that, the two of them became rhythm detectives. They started where Dede Mazi Udo pointed, near the drummer's corner. Amara scanned the ground fast. "Peg! Peg! Where are you?" Ikenna spoke calmly. "Amara, if you shout at the ground, it won't answer." Amara replied, Let me try. Peg!
Peg!
Ikenna
Use
sighed.
your eyes.
Use your eyes. They crouched and searched, under benches, beside calabashes, near the ropes tied to the drums. Nothing. Amara stood up. Maybe it's at the food area. Ikenna shook his head. Why would the peg go to food? Amara shrugged. Everything goes to food. Ikenna scanned again, then pointed. Look, those tiny marks. On the dusty red earth were small scattered lines, like something had dragged lightly across the ground. Amara leaned closer. Like a stick? Ikenna nodded. Or a peg? Amara's mouth opened. Ikenna, you are a detective. Ikenna straightened his shoulders slightly. I know. They followed the marks as they curved away from the drummer's corner. Past a group of children practicing dance steps. Past women fanning pots. Past a man carrying a stool who almost bumped into them. Sorry, Amara called, zooming past. They kept following the faint trail until it led toward a narrow path beside a compound fence. Then Amara stopped abruptly. Wait. Ikenna stopped too. What? Amara pointed. Goat. The same suspicious goat was there again, chewing, calm, unbothered, and right beside its mouth, something small and wooden poked out for a second before disappearing again. Amara's eyes
Eating
went
the
wide.
peg?
It's
Goats
eating
eat
the
anything,
peg,
even problems.
Ikenna whispered. Goats eat anything,
Don't chase
even
into the
problems.
Bush. We must be smart.
Amara took one step forward. The goat immediately stepped back, still chewing. Amara took another step. The goat stepped back again, like it was playing a game. Amara whispered, It's challenging me. Ikenna said quietly, Don't chase it into the bush. We must be smart. Amara nodded like she understood. Then she ran forward, shouting, Stop, thief goat! The goat turned and sprinted. Amara sprinted after it. Ikenna sprinted after Amara. And suddenly, the village got an extra performance. The goat chase dance. They chased the goat past a palm tree. The goat zigzagged like it had training. Mara zigzagged too. But her zigzag looked more like falling with confidence. Ikenna ran with steady steps, eyes watching the goat's mouth. Amara! Ikenna shouted. Cut it off from the side. Amara tried. The goat hopped over a small log and darted toward a corner where some banana leaves were stacked. Then the goat stopped, not because it got tired, because it saw something it liked, a small pile of peeled cassava near a backyard area. The goat lowered its head like it wanted to upgrade its snack. Ikenna whispered urgently, Now. Amara tiptoed like a spy, arms out, face serious. Just as she reached for the goat's mouth, the goat lifted its head and chewed faster. Amara panicked. It will swallow it. Ikenna scanned the ground quickly and grabbed a handful of fresh grass. He held it out. Here, goat. Better food. The goat paused. Amara paused. Even the air paused. Then the goat turned toward the grass, chewing slowly like it was considering a business deal. Amara whispered, "It's working." As the goat leaned toward Ikenna's grass, Amara gently, very gently, reached toward the side of its mouth. "Easy, easy," she murmured like she was negotiating with a king. Then, plop, the tiny wooden peg dropped into the ground. Amara scooped it up so fast it almost vanished. "I got it!" she yelled.
I got it!
Ikenna quickly
Don't
covered
yell.
her mouth
The
with
goat
his
may
hand.
change its mind.
"Don't yell. The goat may change its mind." Amara pulled his hand away. "Sorry, but I got it."
Don't.
The peg was small, dusty, and had a little goat saliva on it. Disgusting, but victorious. Amara held it carefully like it was gold. Ikenna nodded. "No small thing is truly small." Amara repeated it like a victory chant.
No small
"No
thing
small
is truly
thing is
small.
truly small." They ran back to the square like the wind was pushing them. When they arrived,
Come on!
the drummers were still waiting. People were still murmuring. Dede Mazi Udo stood with calm patience, but his eyes watched the crowd like he was holding the celebration together with his will. Amara ran up, breathing fast, and held the peg up high.
Come on!
"Dede, we found it!" The crowd leaned in. Dede Mazi Udo stepped forward and took it carefully. He inspected it, then nodded once. "Good." He slid the peg into place, tightened the rope tension with practiced hands, and pressed the drum skin again. Then he raised his hands. Amara held her breath. Ikenna stood tall, and the whole village square seemed to hold its breath too. Dede Mazi Udo struck the drum. Boom! The sound burst out like thunder. It shook Amara's chest exactly the way she wanted. Children screamed with excitement. Adults clapped. Drummers joined in. The celebration opened like a bright door. Dede Mazi Udo looked down at Amara and Ikenna. "You did well,"
You did
he
well.
said.
You kept,
"You kept your eyes open."
You kept your mind steady.
And we defeated the thief goat. We negotiated with the goat.
The elder chuckled. Then he said something that felt like another lesson worth keeping. Remember, big moments are held up by small things.
Respect
The small things.
Yes, Dede.
Amara nodded seriously. "Yes, Dede." Ikenna nodded too. "Yes, Dede." And as the drums roared and the dancers entered, Amara and Ikenna stepped aside, smiling like they had just saved the first sentence of a village story. And that's the fun lesson from Inri today. No small thing is truly small, because a tiny peg was the difference between pffft and bum. Amara and Ikenna didn't need magic to fix the day. They used sharp eyes, calm thinking, teamwork, and a little goat negotiation, and the whole square got its joy back. That's exactly the kind of bright wonder we love on Oma's story, Nook Jr., where little whispers become big wonders, and every tale is full of wonder because sometimes the biggest wow comes from the smallest piece. Now, if you spot a small job today, helping, listening, holding something carefully, treat it like it matters, because it does. And please, if you see a suspicious goat, just wave from a safe distance.
Thanks for watching, friends. We had fun today. Subscribe, like, and comment.